The Footprints Conversation series features discussions and insights from accomplished workplace and marketplace leaders and their experiences on key leadership issues that could be of value to professionals and business people working for the Lord in their workplace and marketplace. Today, we are honored to have the former First Lady and Her Majesty Queen Esther. She's joined by her uncle Honorable Mordecai. They both have extensive experience in politics, diplomacy, and governance. Her Majesty and Honorable, we welcome you to the Footprints Conversations.
We are happy to be here, and greetings to your audience.
Your Majesty, in Part 1 and 2, you used your own personal experience to present to us two key leadership lessons of shaping and serving. In Part 3, you and your uncle used your experience to present the third leadership lesson of sensitivity to the move of the Lord. Today, we are here for the final leadership lesson.
Yes, the fourth leadership lesson is the sovereignty of the Lord in the affairs of men. It builds on the three previous leadership lessons. As you recognize that the Lord has used the tough times to shape and prepare you for the position, you now understand your calling and regards your position as a ministry to serve. Without that, you will not be sensitive to the move of the Lord and the specific purpose behind your position. Being sensitive requires action, and it does not depend on the level of your position. I will like my uncle to start on the fourth leadership lesson.
Let me say that if you are in a subordinate position to someone like Prime Minister Haman, you must be very careful. I was by then what you may call a watchman, or a security officer, and he was second in command to King Xerxes. People like Haman who get to higher positions through their own manipulations, bootlicking, greasing palms, bribery, and even selling their souls to shrines, secret societies, and occultic powers, think that they are of more value than anyone below. Anyone below them should bow in recognition that they are of more value. On the contrary, people like Her Majesty with the knowledge of these leadership lessons tend to see the position as a calling by grace and a ministry. They are humble and don't see their value as tied to that transient position. Their value is in the sovereign Lord who lives in them and not in that position. Let me ask your audience, if your value is tied to your position, what would happen to your value when you retire from that position?
This is really thought-provoking, Honorable. Can you then tell us about your resistance to bow to Prime Minister Haman, even when all the other officials did that to obey the king's order as his second in command? Was it true that you were arrogant and that's why you refused to bow to Haman?
No, not at all. Haman took it very personal, but for me it wasn't personal. It was based on my knowledge of this fourth leadership lesson of the sovereignty of the Lord in the affairs of men. Two things. First of all, there is a difference between showing respect and bowing. Respect is based on interdependent relationships and should be mutual. I respected Haman as prime minister, but bowing is dominance and is based on dependent relationships. Secondly, if I bow to you, I am bowing not only to your control, but by spiritual implication to the control of the spirit that is in you. Do you understand that spiritual implication?
This is deep. Can you explain further?
Bowing to Haman is by spiritual implication bowing to the powers that control him. Haman didn't understand that. The target was not Haman, but the powers that control him vis-a-vis the power of the sovereign Lord that controls me. So, with my understanding of the fourth lesson, I will not bow to the control of any other spirit. Sometimes, bosses such as Haman will tell you, if you want that promotion, I will tell you what to do. I will take you to where I was also introduced to. This is to make you bow to the same powers he is bowing to. It is unfortunate that some believers for the sake of promotion have bowed to secret societies, shrines, and other powers. You need to recognize the sovereignty of your Lord in the affairs of men.
I want to add that if someone in your audience is facing such a situation at their workplace, he or she should not be scared of taking the narrow and lonely path even when everyone is against him or her. Don't bow to a secret society, a shrine, or any powers for the sake of promotion. Your Lord is sovereign, and promotion is from your sovereign Lord. He will reward you for your steadfastness, as he gave my husband King Xerxes no sleep until he promoted my uncle with his own signet ring and robe.
Oh wow! You must see Haman's face when King Xerxes promoted me right in his presence, and he was also charged to be the king's spokesperson by taking me around all the provinces and to announce that promotion.
And he was finally hanged on his own gallows that he prepared to kill my uncle. I hope we have time to talk about this fourth leadership lesson.
Powerful testimony. Indeed, promotion is from the Lord. He exalts and he brings down. I guess it's Psalm 75 verse 6 to 7. And I learnt there is a dramatic poetry on it called Gallows for Bootlickers. The Can Do Leaders Network indicated it's a very funny poetic drama and presents some of the workplace issues at Susa during your time in a contemporary setting. The audience should check it out. Now, Your Majesty, in closing, please could you give us a summary?
Sure, we spoke about 4 leadership lessons for the workplace. 1. Shaping. 2. Serving. 3. Sensitivity to the Lord's move. And 4. Sovereignty of the Lord in the affairs of men. These 4 leadership lessons should be pivotal knowledge for every professional and businessperson working for the Lord in their workplace and marketplace.
This brings us to the end of the Footprints Conversations featuring Her Majesty First Lady Esther and her uncle Honorable Mordecai. Please let's give it up for them for such leadership insights they have given us today.
If the Footprints discussion has been a blessing to you, pass it on to be a blessing to others. Are you a Christian drama group, literary club, or someone with creative arts talents? Are you interested in using your creative arts talents to convey biblical leadership principles for Christian professionals and businesspeople in the workplace and marketplace? Then bring your talents on board for Kingdom Impacts.